Alright, so, finally got my hands on. Bravo team. And yeah, I've been really stoked to play this game, but sadly the buzz has been kind of, unanimously been negative. And well, I have to agree with it. I mean, before we get into it, just want to, say a few things. I usually give you guys, a couple questions, like, is this game fun? Most importantly, is it worth money? Today I'm going to be asking the same questions, just in a different manner. In the case of this game, well, let's just get to it. How bad is this game really? And most importantly, is it worth the money at all? Well, let's find out. Alright, to start off, let's talk about the aesthetic. It's not bad at all, but it is pretty stock. Colors are washed out and depressing with tons of contrast, like a typical war movie or game. Graphic fidelity is really damn good and honestly, one of the best parts of this game. I mean, everything looks crisp and clear. Now besides that, the music is, well, non-existent. I mean, there really is no soundtrack. The game has slow methodical ambience that adds to the action, but doesn't distract from it. The voice acting is also pretty good for the most part. Nothing wrong in that department. Sadly, the same cannot be said about the sound effects. I mean, the guns sound nice and provide a decent boom factor, but everything else is pretty lazy. Footsteps are loud and obtrusive, and the enemy's dying lines are just copy and pasted over and over again. Which shouldn't be a problem, honestly, is pretty much standard, but the variety of death sounds here is about as expansive as Wolfenstein 3D, i.e. no variety at all. So all in all, the aesthetic is good. Not great or bad, mind you, but just good, and definitely makes you feel like you're behind enemy lines. Now, to be honest, that is essentially all the good I can get out of this game. Now let's look at the bad. Quickly, I want to touch on the story. Don't worry, I won't spoil anything here, so I'll be vague. It's pretty lazy and uninspired. I mean, the same old cliches are present. The characters that begin to tell you their whole life story are killed in an instant. The whole thing is just pretty bad. I mean, sure, this is a VR shooter. It doesn't have to have, a really good story. But you know what? It should at least be enticing, especially when the gameplay isn't. Well, that's one way to segue. So yeah, let's move on to the gameplay. Wow, what the hell happened here? First up, I just want to lay it out there. No, this game does not have free movement. And honestly, an arcade shooter doesn't need it. I mean, look at games like Time Crisis, which are tons of fun. Which I might add, this game was said to be just liked by many game journalists. I don't know what the hell they were smoking, but this is nothing like Time Crisis. The speed and sense of action is not present. The cover system is odd and rather useless. I mean, I'm hiding behind a wall. In game logic, I should be safe, or at least covered. But no. My character is essentially open to all gunfire. But funny enough, I can't die because my partner can just come over at any point and revive me, taking away any real challenge away. Seriously, I played this in the most difficult setting, and I only had to restart once. The constant camera shift from first person to third person ruins all immersion. The ammo mechanic, which should have come off as tense, causing me to really manage all of my inventory and, count every last bullet, instead came off as annoying. The AI is either dumb as rocks or just cheap as all hell. The half-assed stealth mechanic is just insulting, and above all else, the shooting feels really tame. I mean, it's similar to the likes of Farpoint, aim down the sights and shoot the enemies, but the bullets sometimes spray all over the place. And not to mention, the handgun feels just terrible. I mean, yeah, it's meant to be your sidearm, but thanks to the poor tracking, I couldn't hit a single thing. With all of this is all you do. Move from cover to cover, shoot enemies, and move on to the next area. Lather, rinse, repeat. Content-wise, there's a campaign which you could play with an AI or another player, and they tacked on a challenge mode, which again is standard with every arcade shooter. But here, what good is it if the gameplay is just, well, boring? So, now onto my final thoughts. If the game had come out during the launch of the PSVR, this could have very well tanked the whole system. I mean, it's just not a very great experience. Thankfully, we got Rush of Blood instead, and at a cheaper price too. Now, I bring up that game because both of these games are made by the same developer, which makes this even more embarrassing. I mean, with this and The Impatient, it seems that Supermassive should either rethink their whole strategy, or just stop making two games at once and put their collective strength into one game. Because just like The Impatient, that's what this feels like a half-assed attempt at a shooter. It's uninspired, it's an inferior game in a sea of VR shooters, and most importantly, it's not fun. It's just not fun. Well, let's review. And now, let's ask the question. Is this game worth the money? And at retail, $40. No. Even if they decided to, add some game-changing patches in the future, added full locomotion, which honestly the game doesn't need, but seeing as how it's so dull, it wouldn't hurt. Modes-wise, it's really, really barren. I mean, the campaign's not that long. You can play with an AI partner or, an actual person. But even then, just the challenge mode, it's just... wow. I don't know why the hell Sony's been, really pushing and, advertising for this thing, but this was a huge, and I mean huge, misfire. I was excited for this game. I really wanted this game to prevail. I mean, this thing needs more games. And this is supposed to, add on to that list. But sadly, it's just a huge disappointment. I mean, it's not that great. It's just meh. It's not bad, don't get me wrong. But it's not good at all. It's very middle of the road. To the point where there are so many other VR games that you can just pass this up easily. If you do want to try this out for yourself, try finding a way to play it for free. Wait for it to, come out for PS Plus. Or just rock bottom price, because for $40, this is a ripoff. I'm sorry. Supermassive. Step your game up, man. Step it up. But yeah, regardless, that's the video. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys later.